What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Get Whipped podcast, where my squad mates and I talk about our favorite game, Call of Duty Warzone. So join us as we talk about our desperate adventures of trying to stay out of the gulag. I'm your host, Jeremy Holcombe, a.k.a. JAYHOLC, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, John Wilson, a.k.a. Corgi is God, and Matt Polizzi, a.k.a. Matt3VV. How's it going, guys?
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
A quick disclaimer before we get started. This is a podcast for mature audiences only. If you're under the age of 17, please get your parents' permission before continuing on. So, guys, Call of Duty Warzone dropped on March 10th. What do you guys think?
Start this off. Love the game. I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty was not even online with actually Matt here at his house, the Xbox 360 days, and Call of Duty 4 came online. It just took over the world. So, I love the game. I love the style, and they just made a battle royale of it. So,
Call of Duty actually came from Medal of Honor. Quick side note, that escalated to Call of Duty. But this, I got roped into playing Warzone with Jeremy and John here, about a month ago. I was playing League of Legends, and they said, "Hey, come try this Warzone game out." And I said, "Well, fuck it, let's give it a shot," and been addicted ever since.
Yeah, I absolutely love the game too. I've actually been chasing the Battle Royale genre for a couple of years now, ever since it started coming out on PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, PUBG, back in 2015, 2016. And I've been watching it on Twitch. It was PC only. I wanted to get in there. I love the Hunger Games aspect, the Battle Royale aspect. So when the first game came out, Fortnite, on consoles for PS4, I jumped into that right away. I played that game, Fortnite, PUBG. I played H1Z1. So when finally Call of Duty came out, it was something that it was familiar with, right? It was like, I've played this game before. I know the mechanics jumping in. And then when they came out with Warzone, free to play, it's just something that I had to jump into. And I remember that first drop going in on Warzone, it was so fucking loud. The audio was
definitely great. The plane coming through your teammates. It's like, where are we landing? But also the plane going through. You can't hear anything.
I
wanted to ask real quick. You played H1Z1? Because I used to follow a bunch of streams before I actually played Battlegrounds or Battle Royale games.
Yeah, same year.
The game I actually played was Fortnite. But I've been following since the calling.
Right.
H1Z1, PUBG, watching streams of that, but I never really got into it until Fortnite was free to play, right?
Yeah, I feel like we can go into a whole episode about free to play games, right? Free to play has kind of just changed the whole aspect of gaming and getting
League of Legends.
Right, and it started before the Battle Royale.
I also got him into that game too, so.
League of Legends and just what they've been doing with that, and mobile gaming. There's a whole other thing with that. But when we get these big, epic games, Activision, Infinity Ward involved, and they start dropping free-to-play games, right?
I gotta say, I tried Fortnite once. Fortnite, I suck at it, and thought I'd never play another Battle Royale game. And then I love Warzone. So if you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it comes down to graphics, gameplay, the first-person aspect. It comes down to a lot, and the game's great, and I love playing it. Moving on a little bit, Warzone, being a free-to-play game, just like how Fortnite started, Apex Legends, whatever, it comes with a little bit of issues, and they've been trying to fix it as it comes along, and they just dropped a huge patch on April 28th that has changed a lot during the game. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of what the patch notes are and what's relevant to Warzone. So the first one that was big was Most Wanted contract. So that has a lot of controversy around it. It was taking out regular bounties. Basically, they removed the bounty contracts. They're going to put in a whole new Most Wanted contract, right? And it was going to be something that where if you complete the contract, you can bring back all of your squad mates with one go. And all you had to do basically was survive 5 minutes with everyone knowing where you were on the map.
I like the idea, right? But it was a surprise to everyone in the patch notes that what they didn't announce was that they were replacing bounties with most wanted. Like, why would they do that? That's actually what made the game fast-paced, right? Otherwise, it's everyone landing and sitting in a corner and surviving. Oh, my teammates died. I'm going to grab the most wanted, and I'm going to go camp in hospital or downtown in a really tall building, actually not even go to the roof. And I'm just going to sit in the staircase and watch the one entrance. Like,
Hey,
that's what it became.
as a camper, I love that, but I can
just
understand the controversy behind it.
I like how Call of Duty responded with listening to their players, the community, made the change back. I think they're gonna put Most Wanted back into the game or alter it a bit, and they're definitely gonna keep bounties in the game. They're not gonna have. They'll probably put 4 contracts in the game, but ultimately.
I think there's room for everything. So I completely agree with you. I think they will listen to the community, eventually put Most Wanted back, and really just diverse the game. So where if you're a camper, that's what you like to do, sure, you can make that work for getting your team back. But if you're into bounties and high pace, then you can hunt some people down, and it's gonna suck, but you're gonna get hunted.
I originally thought bounties and Most Wanted together was gonna be a thing where you could be on the map where everyone's hunting.
Yeah, definitely.
So everyone that's going for high kill games, which is definitely a thing. Everyone going for those 30 plus kills, 40 plus kills. Team combined 108 plus kills record right now. Like, that's a thing, but they removed that component together. So I thought that was going to merge together, but it didn't, come together.
Well, and I think the thing with the bounty contracts is it's different than all the other battle royales. Like, you don't see that in a different game, and it keeps it can help campers, but at the end of the day, it can also keep people moving. So let's say if you got a bounty contract on you and you're being hunted, what are you going to do, right? You're going to sit in place. You're going to go up to the top roof of somewhere, but it creates action. It creates something for you to do during the game instead of just hiding in a building somewhere, right? That's what the fun part is about Call of Duty, and that's something that they're doing right is with these contracts, not only with bounty contracts, with the recon contract, with the scavenger contract. It keeps you moving and it keeps you going and action in the game that other battle royals really haven't done. And I feel like Infinity Ward, Activision kind of hit that on the head right off the bat. So I'm glad that bounties are back. I was actually thinking beforehand, like, what can they do with contracts, right? We only have 3. We have bounties, we have scavenger, we have recon, like I just said. And I feel like that can be expanded. There's a lot of things that can be expanded in this game that they're probably holding. And of course, right when I was thinking that, they come out with a whole new contract. It didn't work out right away. It got a lot of hate. But there's going to be new contracts in the game, and I'm kind of excited to see what they can do with that, because from what I've seen, one of the things that you don't get from contracts are kill streaks, for one. You have to buy all of those. So what if you can make some sort of contract that gets you a kill streak, gets you UAV?
Shield turret.
Right.
They need to remove that.
Instead of having to go to the buy station to buy these things, why don't and probably have a chest?
I would just like to add that I've bought a shield turret by accident, and I fucking hate myself for it. So
it was ridiculous. It was a good time. Yeah,
we have to put out there that every squad has that third squad member that's filling in. And Matt may be ours, but he's definitely improving in the game. He hasn't played first-person shooters in a long time. But, yeah, everyone's got that guy who's going into the buy station and buying a shield turret like it happens.
Mistake click. He was trying to get, armor, obviously, and he buys a shield turret, shield armor. I can see the mistake, I guess.
It was a total fuck up, and I was I was trying to click it. I thought I did, and I pressed the down button, and obviously I didn't, and ended up with a goddamn shield turret.
It's okay. We had enough money to buy you your plates anyways.
If anybody's listening, shield plates are important. Please buy them. Do not fucking overlook them.
Back on topic, though, you brought up a point where, Fortnite is adding, based upon other games, which is, I think Fortnite is kind of the center of battle royales right now. And they're losing steam obviously when new.
Yeah, but they changed the whole game for sure.
They changed the whole game, but they're changing games for the better, right? They see positive aspects of this game and this game and this game, and they try to incorporate it, or they at least attempt to, right? Whereas Call of Duty has that potential, but they haven't done it yet, right? Like they haven't nerfed any guns yet, and they didn't respond to hackers right away. They're slow to respond to the community right now. And, we're in the third season, and this is the first full season. I anticipate changes, maybe a new map coming, but we haven't changed the map yet. We haven't done no changes so far. It's pretty much the beta game and vanilla version, and we're waiting to expand upon.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen some things about talking about nerfing weapons, about making the changes, especially the Akimbo perk, right? That's kind of a big controversy going on right now with the pistols and how easy it is to down people.
Yeah.
And if you look at past battle royales, the successful ones, games, especially free-to-play games, are the ones updating quickly. And from what I've seen, it seems like they're being kind of weighed down by the issues of hackers, by bug fixes, and like right now we've got issues with audio going on in the mics, and we can't hear each other in the game. So they're definitely dealing with all the issues. It's a free-to-play game, so we'll see. We have to be a little bit patient with that. But I think we need to move on a little bit with the patch notes and just kind of whip through these. A few other things that they did was they adjusted the speed and sizing of the circle, and from a little bit of what I've read, a little bit of research, is basically what they did is made it so that you can outrun the circle. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that, but from what
we've died many a times of gas, so I love it.
Oh my God, so many times.
We have died a lot to gas, and I think it did overcome us a little bit too quickly. And I think maybe the first circle is a little bit too long, honestly. Trying to get there, it's like 4 minutes long, where I feel like I'm in 3 or 4 different battles before we even get to the second circle. And I'm like, holy shit, we're in the middle of this game, right? No, we haven't even gone to the second circle. There's still 100 people in the game. Like, it takes a really long time. So hopefully adjusting that speed is helping, and it is nice actually to be able to outrun that circle.
So I would like to add that John and Jeremy are a big fan of staying alongside that circle and as it's coming in. And for me, I'm all about dropping in the middle of that SOB and sitting and waiting for people to come to me. Maybe that's why I'm bad at the game, but
our camper friend likes to sit with an M4 and an RPG and camp a corner and say, okay, let's play the end game.
Hey, I just want to get my 3 to 4 kills and move on to the next one.
He has a 0.2 kill to death ratio, boys.
Hey, that's because I died a lot at the beginning. Don't be unfair with that.
You did. You're increasing. It was 0.15. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think I started at 0.9, 0.09, and I brought it up to 0.6.
Averaging 0 kills a game.
All right, another thing that there's a lot of things that Call of Duty Warzone has done right off the bat. And that's with the cash and the contracts and everything. But one thing that a lot of other battle royales had that wasn't even incorporated in this game off to the start, which they added in this past patch, was the ability to drop your own weapon. I mean, I don't know. That's a very simple thing to have in your game, right? You have some guy coming back from the gulag, all he has a pistol, and there's no real way to even just drop your secondary weapon to the guy. You had to go and find another weapon, switch it out so that they can just get it. So it's nice to see that they've actually made that correction, I would say.
Very simple tweak and very important, right? If you're running overkill and you have an SMG and AR combo, whatever you're more comfortable with, I can drop one of the other. So I've been recently running a lot more the Grau 56 and the MP5, and depending on the gulag and you land right on me, I could drop you a gun right away and all the ammo with it. So it's very important. And obviously late game, I think it's more important. So when you get bought back and you're, getting towards that, third, fourth circle and someone's laying you back, you're like, I don't know what to do. There's no loadout. There's no chest at this point. I don't know where to land. There's probably enemies there. You can land on me. I can give you a gun.
RPG OP. RPG OP. That's
It's
all I
OP
gotta
for a
say to
ghost
that.
class.
That's all I gotta say about that.
I mean, they're talking about nerfing it though. So
Yeah, I think we should go on that in just a second as just the last two items that were relevant in the patch was that the cargo truck for solos has been reduced turning speed, acceleration, and top speed, just something for you to know.
definitely not solos. It's both.
Hey,
It's
and
mostly-
I'd like to make a side note that John is AKA Dominic Toretto. If anybody's
Yeah, he's our
wondering,
driver.
It's all
So
about the
he would know
family.
this.
he is our driver, and we rely on him. And he 9 out of 10 times doesn't leave us hanging. Jeremy, on the other hand, he drives one time, he stops in the middle of the road, and we get RPG'd. So, AKA John's the driver
AKA
from
top
now on.
7 instead of winners. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, the last thing that they added in the patch, which I think is an awesome addition, they added a new item, which was the armor satchel. And basically
think
what
that
it
was
does is that it
badass.
increases your armor. If you get the satchel, it's basically like a backpack in PUBG, right? You get to add in extra armor pieces. So instead of holding 5, you can now hold 8. There's been a lot of talk about how armor should be utilized in the game. Basically, if you've been hit like halfway or one half of your armor has been taken off, right? So in order to get it back, it takes 2. You only get back half of that. When you use a full armor plate, you only get back half of your health, and you have to hold another armor plate to get full. So I don't know if they're going to adjust that into the game, but having extra armor pieces, I mean, it helps all of us, right?
I don't know about you, but it's the most frustrating thing when it's 90% a plate and it takes 1 full plate. And
Right.
we're late game. We have 5 plates, and it takes me 3 full plates to get up, and I only have 2 reserve at that point. That's terrible. I don't know. Like, sometimes you peak something to be a meat shield just to get information, and it requires a full 3 shields to get up, and I got shot 4 times, right?
And I think I've also noticed in the game is that from the start back in March and going here into the end of April, from the little tweaks that they made, it's definitely a little bit harder to find satchel plates just kind of laying around. It was much easier first part of the game just to kind of just pick up. I mean, I felt like I was always full on plates all the time, and now it's like we're going in halfway through the first circle and I can't even find a plate or something.
Well,
So
I
I
think
think
they
they've
did-
definitely lowered that percentage and how you can find the plates, and that it kind of forces you to go and buy more plates. It kind of makes you have to go to that buy station to more hot spots, more people end up at those spots and end up dying or fighting at those spots, I should say. So
Not just that, but also they removed the gas mask factor, right?
yeah, that's true.
You have scavenge early on where gas mask is the most useless item. It has 3,000 gold, but I'd rather have 3 extra plates that I can hold in a satchel. I think they
Yeah.
Agreed.
fixed that where the gas mask is now a late game item that you buy potentially with 3,000 at the buy station rather than a satchel.
I was going to say that's an excellent point. The problem I see, though, unless you pick it up in a chest, I haven't really seen anybody buying a gas mask. I mean,
Right. I was going to say the same thing.
we've won 2 games since then, and none of it had to do with any gas masks. And so, although it's a useful item, I don't see it being a big factor if you're creeping even on the edge of the gas, because you just keep creeping in that crease. So
Yeah, with the adjustments to the circle, to slowing it down, so now you can outrun it to the point where even when you're in that final circle, you don't have the gas coming out. I mean, we're finding less and less reasons to even have that gas mask, and it's not even worth the amount of money to pay for it. So I'm sure there's going to be adjustments coming in the future with that.
I mean, example recently, I just had a game recently. I died to gas, and I bought a UAV thinking it's a good idea, and I died by gas. And I could have bought a gas mask, bought some extra plates, and I elected for a team aspect when I easily could have bought a gas mask and maybe made top 5, top 3, and even won the game.
But let me ask you this. If that gas mask was $1,500 instead of $3,000, would you have bought it over the UAV?
I do think 3,000 is a little expensive, but it should not be 1,500. Plates is what it comes with for 500. That's the standard for 1,500.
All right, maybe 2 Gs then. Like, my point is it's way overpriced, and that's why no one's buying it until until they're like the top 3 teams and they're right next to a buy station.
I mean, if you want my opinion, remove the shield turret, put the gas mask at 2,000. I'm okay with that.
I think that should be the case. Just my opinion.
Yeah, kind of segueing from that, there's been a lot of kind of even with the patch notes, there's been a lot of changes kind of going on with the game that weren't in the patch notes. One of them being the shield turret in the past is that when you would set it up, you would see it on radar. That's no longer a thing. But another big thing that's catching a lot of people's eye is this red access card. Now, I haven't seen it in game. Apparently, it is really, really rare to even find. You have to find it in like a legendary loot box, and that's kind of something that they're Activision and Infinity Ward is kind of teasing for the future, possibly. I mean, nobody really knows what this thing is. It apparently you get access to bunkers, and there's a lot of other little things going on in the game. You have to put in an access code. Now you can't access that right now, but they're teasing things for the future. And a lot of people think that it could be for a kill streak that you can use when you're in there, or a nuke. But the thing is, when you see the icon, the red access card is actually a health icon when you pick it up. So who knows what that could be. But one of the things that they're going to try to do, and that Infinity Ward, Activision have said, is that they're going to try to make events just like Fortnite coming out. And I mean, we'll see what they're going to be able to do.
All I'm saying is hashtag open up stadium. Run around on a soccer field and fucking go up the stands and go to the hot dog vendors. I don't care. Open that place up.
And can I address an issue that we haven't stated yet? Is the audio, the in-game audio, where all of a sudden you're 10 minutes into a game and then you can't hear your teammates, which makes it absolutely pointless. And I think Infinity Ward has had more than, and Activision for that matter, has had more than enough time to adjust that. And I know it happened with the patch, but come on. Like, that's a big part of the game is communication.
It's a big annoyance because, like, Matt and I are on Xbox and you're on PlayStation. So we play cross-platform. We have to play in-game chat to communicate. And it's super choppy to begin with anyways, which is, please fix that, Activision. But
please,
at the same time, it's like, if we're going to play, we're about loadout deep. We're going into our, second circle at least, and the audio cuts out. Come on.
Which we've been there, where John goes and buys a loadout, throws it, and I'm like, John, are you there? Jeremy? What the fuck? And then we have to fucking finagle a way to communicate, like through Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, too, is that these issues come up when they come out with big patches, right? So we just had a big 15 gigabyte patch, which a bunch of people are complaining about, or just at least commenting about that, hey, this thing is now taking half of my storage, right? And whenever a patch comes out, issues come with it. When you make something, you break something. So hopefully they can be on top of that. And when people started complaining about the Most Wanted contract, they made a patch 2 days later and fixed that and reversed it back to bounty. So just need to be a little bit quicker on the issues. But with a lot of hacking issues, and we'll see how they deal with that in the future, and it is kind of bringing the game down.
It's pretty funny that they put hackers actually against hackers.
That's so funny.
That is a good thing.
I love them for that, by the way. Because
I wish I could just watch a hacker game. That'd be hilarious.
Because I hate the fact that I'm bad at the game.
Everybody's invincible. What do you do?
And then all of a sudden there's a hacker just absolutely annihilating me. So
go ahead. I was watching Twitch today, and I'm not gonna drop any names, but someone's on their way to a 30 bomb. They're at 22 kills, and then they get killed by some guy with 25 kills. And he's a hacker. It's auto aim on their head. They see where they're coming. He's got an LMG with no perks, and he's just auto aiming on their head, dead. Picks up their gun afterwards and wins the game. Like it was terrible to watch. It was entertaining to watch because it's like you got like 20 people watching and you see one cheater, level 7, by the way. Like those are the obvious signs. The guys that just start the game, that plan on getting banned, right? And it's still a thing. Like they're not responding to that factor enough yet.
Well, and going back to the main point about the audio is it's not even I expect issues. That's not the issue. The issue is it's been 2 days and it hasn't been addressed. Like I can't imagine what kind of big issue is going on where they couldn't have addressed that in a more timely fashion. That's my big rip.
We're coming down to the end of this podcast here. I think that we should come up to this last segment. What are your guys' sort of hopes for the game? What do you think that the future of Warzone and where it should go?
Maybe what contracts are you guys thinking that should be included in the game?
I think it's not even contracts. I think it's perks that they're gonna incorporate. You got perks, you got contracts, you got new weapons. I already have seen rumors about, the season 4 battle pass, and I mean, we'll see.
That'd be cool.
The thing is that I'm worried about is that Call of Duty, there's a new game coming out next year, right? I mean, they thankfully have already learned from their past battle royale. This isn't their first battle royale. This is their second one that they've made. And let's just hope that they continue to put resources towards this game to keep it long term, because I like games and I like free to play games that are being worked on, that are going to last in the future, instead of everybody just moving to the next game.
Well, like with free to play games, like you think of, it's not really free. Like just as an example, League of Legends, my home turf where I really got into it. In over 4 years, I've probably put $500 to $800 into that game. So take free game.
That's a lot for a free to play game.
Yeah,
so
very free.
take free game with quotation marks, because you buy all these battle pass things, right? I've already put $10 into this game for a battle pass, and now
that's where the industry is moving to, right? That's how they're figuring out. It used to be loot boxes. Hey, I'm going to buy all these loot boxes, and now it's a battle pass, which is something that the first time I saw that was on Fortnite, and they really got that right. And I actually like battle passes are better than loot boxes.
I mean, progress of the game going forward. The meta right now is assault rifles and maybe a sniper rifle. Like that is it. SMGs sprinkle in here and there. LMGs, marksman rifles outside of the EBR.
The car.
Like there's so many irrelevant points to this game. Like perks, right? We're talking EOD, cold-blooded, and ghost and overkill and amped and maybe tracker, like certain cases.
I use tracker.
Yeah, you use tracker, but I use amped because you switch weapons faster. And if you use an RPG like Matt, you reload RPGs faster. That's the meta, and they're not making any changes to that. Like they need to actually change the meta once in a while. They need to update perks, maybe add more weapons, change weapons around, change the map around. Like, I mean, not necessarily add a new map, but just, like, you know how Fortnite does? They just rework the map, right? They remove this place and add in a new place. They need to take elements from other battle royales. I'm gonna call out Fortnite because they're better at community.
They've been around longer.
Yeah, they've been around longer, and they listen to their followers more. Like, they do in-game events. That's the thing. That's how they can evolve. And when it comes full, circle and make it a real game here, to your point, they're going to launch another Call of Duty this year. I hope they don't abandon resources on this, because this is amazing. I love this game. My favorite game right now.
I think this has grown so fast that they'd be a fool to abandon it. So I don't think that they will do that. Now, to your point is, like, for example, open up stadium. All of a sudden you made a change to the map, and when the circle's closing around stadium, you're not sitting there hoping that the other person dies
like
before
you made earlier. The cards that you have to pick them up out of a legendary chest only, or like scavenger. Like,
yeah, I think it's been proven that if you make small changes, it keeps people coming back because they want to see those small changes. It makes the map feel fresh and different, and things to learn that you didn't see before, and just to keep that going. We all know it's tough to put out patches every week. It's tough on the employees to be on top of it. There's burnout and all of that, but
patches instead of seasons, they should update the weapons you drop off the ground weekly. They should rotate that.
Or I would say bi-weekly. Like, give people like an opportunity to get
Right.
used to them and then change them. I think bi-weekly is more than enough time to get somebody.
It used to be M13, M4. M4 is on the ground right now. Like Uzi's a thing. Like those are the only guns I really want to grab. Like they need to rotate guns. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like
they
put a
should make
growl.
every gun part of a chest that's relevant, and it's just a base level. You know,
I completely agree. Put an M7 in there. Put a growl in there. My point is they don't rotate the guns enough, and I think that's a big issue. Is all the same guns are being played by everybody unless
well,
you're at the
loadouts
very.
dominate the game, right? So if you get a come back and you get an M4 off the ground and some dude's got a a growl with 5 attachments on it, you lose.
Period.
Moving on, I think it's about that time we start to wrap up the podcast. So do you guys have any last comments you'd like to share before we close out the show?
Yeah, we're going to be reviewing segments of myself playing. And so if you guys would like to see an amateur play and get some feedback from that and see what not to do, please come and subscribe and watch.
Thank you, Jeremy, for hosting. You're a great host. You're the best, and you put out great content.
And Jeremy's a hell of a sniper. If you guys want sniper tips, please see Jeremy. He will show you how to lead and really just put somebody down.
Thanks, guys, for joining me on a great show. And for all the listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We'd absolutely love your feedback on how the show went. If you have any opinions with how Warzone is shaping up as a new battle royale, please share them by leaving a comment down below. We may feature you in our next episode. For more Warzone content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter via JAYHOLC, and lastly, join us on Twitch at twitch.tv/JAYHOLC as we love to drop in, hang out, and play with you guys. Thanks again, and see you next time, Warzone Warriors.